Hi everyone, welcome to our Tuesday TNT, and thank you to all the birthday wishes yesterday. Yes, another trip around the sun, and fit and healthy. I've got nothing to complain about. But let's check today's news, because that's what you're here for. And we start off with The Nation, and this is a little bit more information on that tourist tax, arrival tax, landing fee, I think they're calling it. And Thailand expects 3.9 billion baht revenue boost from the tourist fee this year. And of course, it's meant to be starting on June the 1st. Let's find out some more. So The Nation in Thailand reporting a 3.9 billion baht revenue boost after the 300 baht fee is introduced on June the 1st. And then a few more details. He said that of the expected 3.9 billion baht, 650 million baht would be spent on travel insurance for tourists, and the remaining 3.25 billion baht going to a fund for tourism development. Well, we don't have any more details on that, and the question is whether every tourist who pays that 300 baht fee when they arrive in Thailand, do they get an automatic insurance coverage? And if they do they get a piece of paper? What proof do they have that they've paid it and that they've got that actual insurance coverage if they end up in a hospital? Let's see if we can find some more details. The minister explained that the 300 baht entry fee would be included in the price of their tickets for travellers arriving by plane, with airlines sharing 5% of the entry fee. So there it seems a confirmation that it will be included in the airfares. But the idea is feasible, he says, and can be implemented on time, since the government is now in talks with the airlines to collect the entry fee. So they haven't actually confirmed that that's how they're going to do it. They haven't actually got the airlines to sign on the dotted line, but they've announced the tourist fee anyway and say they're going to implement it from June the 1st. Again, I would have thought the cart's a bit before the horse there. So I think we've still got a little bit of organisation to be done, and the airlines need to at least agree in principle that they'll collect the fee and then pass them on to the government. Goodness gracious. Any more information? Those entering the country by land or water have to pay the 150 baht entry fee via a kiosk machine website or application. So does it accept foreign currency? Does it accept credit cards from overseas? Is the application something you have to pre-download? What if you don't have a computer or a laptop with you? Again, lots of questions and not a lot of answers from the government. However, kiosk machine payment is currently unavailable, as it's yet to be decided which checkpoints are suitable for their installation. So we literally have none of the infrastructure in place for the collection of this landing fee, arrival tax, tourist tax, whatever you want to call it, yet it's been announced that it's going to happen on June the 1st, and everything just better damn work by the time we get to June the 1st. Now, for those people that complain about this arrival tax and departure taxes and things, let's see what happens in other parts of the world. Now, this is a report from Indonesia Expat, and it's a list of 25 countries where you will pay a tourist tax in 2022. And number one on the list is Thailand, which will apply a tourist fee starting April 2022. Well, of course, it was mooted then, but it's been delayed, but now since announced, even though they don't have the infrastructure in place. Let's try and see some of the other places. So let's go down this list. We've got Venice, the EU, Austria, Belgium, Bhutan, Bulgaria, the Caribbean islands, Croatia, Czech Republic, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Malaysia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Portugal, Slovenia, Spain, Switzerland, the US. All these countries have some sort of arrival tax. Now, there's, of course, also, and we still have it in place now, in Thailand, a 700 baht departure tax. We've had that since the middle of the last decade, but that's hidden in your airfares when you arrive in Thailand. So they've got that in place, and no one seems to be arguing or debating about that 700 baht, although they're getting all lemon-lipped about the new 300 baht arrival tax. Let's see what countries have a departure tax. And we've got Australia and Austria, Bangladesh, Brunei, the list goes on and on. We've got Bermuda. Obviously, this is in some sort of alphabetical order. Cambodia, of course, China, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, the list goes on. These are all countries with a departure tax in place. Hong Kong, Iran, Indonesia, Japan, Lebanon, Malaysia, where else? We've got Peru, Philippines. Let's go back to the Philippines because they've got quite a few, quite staggered departure taxes. Then we've got Saudi Arabia, Sweden, then Thailand, included in airline tickets as of 2007. The arrival tax will be introduced in 2021 and all the way down there to the United Kingdom. Well, it ended up being introduced in 2023. And as I said, the tourism minister has admitted that they don't have all the infrastructure in place. So I suspect we've probably got a few more details to be announced and a little bit more confusion, surprise, surprise, on exactly what's going to be happening with that new tourism tax. You're watching TNT with thanks to 5 Star Marine. If you'd like to head off to the islands on a private tour, there's a link in the description of this video to 5 Star Marine in Phuket. It's the TNT program on a Tuesday. Tim Newton today, and we now go to some more information for tourists, or basically anybody that likes to go out and have a bit of a drink late at night or early in the morning. And Phuket-go.com says no 4 a.m. closing times, but maybe in tourist zones, and no to legalising e-cigarettes. And at a meeting of the board of the Thai Health Promotion Foundation yesterday, the Public Health Minister Anatin Charnvirakul announced that the Ministry of Public Health is against a proposal to extend the hours of operation for pubs from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m, citing the need to ensure public welfare and safety. So we don't have to worry about public welfare and safety before 2 a.m, but after 2 a.m, apparently it becomes a problem. However, the ministry may consider allowing pubs in certain major tourist destinations, such as Phuket and Pattaya, to operate until 4 a.m. on a case-by-case basis. More paperwork for the pubs, and the minister emphasised that the ministry aims to strike a balance between social and economic aspects to avoid any harm. So the minister once again seems to be rowing back against his earlier progressive attitude and now wanting to appeal to more of the conservative side of the voting public. And then Phuket-go.com goes on to say, of course, many of the pubs and nightlife are already staying open well past the official 2 a.m. closing times illegally, and the Ministry of Tourism and Sport is in favour of extending the operating hours of public in tourist destinations to attract more tourists. So a bit of a tug of war there in the cabinet between the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Public Health. To our next story today, speaking of health, and this is from the PattayaNews.com, and it says that the PM2.5 dust level in Pattaya reaches unhealthy levels. Masks recommended, say officials. Masks back in the news again. I'm sure that'll make some of you happy. And the dust level far exceeds the safe threshold of 50 micrograms per cubic metre. I thought they were going to officially drop it down, that threshold, to 37, but not yet, apparently, and has remained dangerously high since the start of February, according to Pattaya officials. The unhealthy dust fogged up several areas in Pattaya, such as south, central and northern Pattaya roads. Skies overcast not due to a looming deluge, but the PM2.5, which is likely to worsen as the weather in Pattaya remains humid, according to officials, and they recommend that people in Pattaya are advised to either avoid outdoor activity or wear a proper facial mask that's designed against smog, not a surgical mask, when running errands outside to protect themselves. Do we want to live in this world where we're running around outside with masks on all the time? Particularly in tourist areas. I mean, you're coming to these places for a bit of relaxation, sit on the beach, have a drink, and they're suggesting that you wear a mask all the time. And just checking the map there from IQ Air, and we can see that Bangkok there in the centre and Pattaya just a bit further south. Plenty of orange and red there indicating unhealthy for sensitive groups, which is the orange monitoring, and the redder areas are basically unhealthy. Just checking up a bit further north, Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai, plenty of red monitoring there today, which indicates PM 2.5 levels at an unhealthy level. To our next story today, and Thai PBS World is reporting a poll shows popularity gap between Prayut and Pattongtarn shrinks. So just a very quick bit of background. Pattongtarn Shinawatra is the probable prime ministerial candidate for the Pattaya party. She's the youngest daughter of Thaksin Shinawatra, and in recent polls, say over the past 2 months, she has consistently, even though she's never run as an MP or served in politics, she has been leading the polls by, say, 38%, 40%, and then the current Prime Minister usually gets sort of 13 or 14%. This is the polls over the past 2 months, and then we've got other sort of parties getting a lot lower than that, including Ananthan Sharvirakul, the Public Health Minister, who's been getting 3 and 4% in recent polls, obviously a concern for the Bumjai Thai party, which he leads. But this super poll is coming up with a completely different answer. So the super poll is saying that Pattaya, Pattongtarn Shinawatra, is getting 28.5% of the vote. The current Prime Minister, standing as he would as a Prime Ministerial candidate for the United Thai Nation, nearly 26%. And the other Conservative leader, we've got Ananthan Sharvirakul, getting 21.2%. So this poll varies wildly from some of the other polls, polls like Suan Dusat, which we quote regularly in news stories. And then Superpoll noted that the popularity gap between Prayut and Pattongtarn has become significantly smaller compared to previous polls. You're not joking. And they say it was probably the result of the House debate, which was barely reported, noting that as many as 55% of the respondents believe Prayut performed well in rebutting opposition MP charges. I would suggest that less than 3 or 4% of the Thai population read anything about that House debate last week. Now, just checking the Super Poll and their performance in the past, there's lots of stories about them. From Thai PBS World back in 2019, Super Poll hits back at Thai Deputy Spokeswoman, who says that the Super Poll is unreliable and biased in favour of the government of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha and has received sponsorship from state agencies. That's the claim made at the time. And this from thephuketnews.com around about the same time, December 2021. Prayut is public's favourite politician, says Super Poll. Well, I don't think he's ever been a favourite politician in just about any poll. And this from The Tiger, who says Super Poll, most Thais welcome acting PM Prayut as the next PM. Again, conservative politics, conservative leaders. And this story from the Bangkok Post, Ananthan scores high in poll but remains quiet on plans. This story from the end of last year, saying that he stands a good chance of becoming the next Prime Minister. Again, another conservative politician. And then in the second paragraph, he was asked by reporters about the results of the latest super poll released on Sunday, showing that Mr. Ananthan was the most favoured candidate. And now he is in just about all the other polls around Thailand, coming in at 3 and 4%. Something very strange going on. And this one as well. This from the PattayaNews.com, saying that Ananthan voted to be suitable political leader who stands above social conflicts. And that story there at the bottom of the second paragraph, saying that Ananthan has no history of conflicts, speaks little, and did not blame those who scolded him. So I think there's adequate evidence, and I only spent 5 minutes on the internet indicating that Super Poll is really just a PR arm of the conservative side of politics and pushing the futures of the Public Health Minister, Ananthan, and also the current Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha. You're watching TNT. Let's go to our next story now. This from the BangkokPost.com. Singapore a top draw for East Asian expats. Livability survey tepid on Bangkok. what's going on. For expats from East Asia looking for a place to live, Singapore was their top choice in 2022. In Thailand, Bangkok maintained its attractiveness. I think that's optimistic. Ranked 115th globally, while Chiang Mai climbed to 116th according to the survey. Findings from the Location Ratings Survey revealed Singapore remained the most desirable location for expats from East Asia, with its livability score improving last year. And cities that climbed the ranking included those in Malaysia, Indonesia and the Philippines, so other ASEAN countries doing okay. Yangon in Myanmar was the only location, surprise, surprise, in the region that had a lower ranking. That place at the moment is just a basket case. Bangkok ranked as the number 2 destination in ASEAN among the surveyed East Asian expats. So around the world it's getting 115, 116, but in ASEAN it's number 2 behind Singapore. Locations in China and Hong Kong had lower rankings, with the latter plunging to 92nd last year from 15th. So Hong Kong with quite a few existential problems at the moment, big outflow of expats from that territory at the moment. And with that, I thank you all very much for watching. Thank you to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine. Thank you to the person who sent me this card for my birthday, another year older and none the wiser. My solicitor will be in contact. Please subscribe to the channel if you get a moment. That would be much appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.